happy this morning to have New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez with us on the phone line. Governor Martinez is in Santa Fe this morning. Good morning, Governor. How are you doing?
Good morning, John. How are you?
Well, we're doing fine down here in southwest New Mexico. I do appreciate you taking your time and calling us. I know this is your radio station day, and I'm very pleased to be part of that radio station day, and you calling in and letting us know what's on your mind and what's happening with the legislature up in Santa Fe. Before we get into some of the questions, I did go over things with you. What happened is I asked on our Facebook page people to post some questions if they have, and we got one, and also a listener called in this morning with another question. But I'm sure what you want to talk about is the budget that they sent to you, and the people are telling us that you plan on maybe vetoing it. Have you decided yet, or you're just going to wait till tomorrow?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, although they sent it to me 2 days ago, and it is the first time I have not seen a bill come up faster than this. We want to be able to look at it, and I was hoping that I could look at it and veto it and send it back with the hopes of continued negotiations. Mm-hmm. It's very important to me that we continue to negotiate and make sure that there is enough funding so that we create a positive environment for creating jobs here in New Mexico, and making sure that there's enough money for those children that are in DNF schools and for the teachers that are doing a really super job, that we can reward them well for doing a good job in education. But those things are missing from this budget, and I can't say anything more important to New Mexicans and our kids' education and making sure there are jobs in New Mexico for them to take.
Well, that's I guess a good point. But we were just listening to, as I told you, John Arthur Smith, our senator, was just talking to Mark Bentley in Dayton, New Mexico, about the cost, and if we do have to go into another session, a special session, the costs, and sometimes they don't always come out with what everybody wants, and it's just a huge expense. So have you considered this in your decision making? Or you're just looking that it doesn't cover enough in the two major categories, education and jobs, that you want, and so you're probably just going to veto it?
Oh, absolutely. I've given it great consideration. And what happened was the budget actually came out of the House in a very good condition. It actually provided funding for LEDA, which is a program that allows for us to attract businesses to New Mexico. And it also had enough, funded us with a higher level for job training and for education, and to make sure that we reward our teachers that are excellent teachers, and took care of our kindergartners through third grade and make sure they're reading before they get out of the third grade. So when it came out of the House, it was in good condition. When it went into the Senate, they stripped it of those things. Mm-hmm. They reduced the amount of money that was being provided to those very, very important priorities that we have. And so it got worse. And I know that it can go back to the way it was before. So if I could have had the opportunity to send it back to them today, I will, in hopes that they can fix it overnight, and we don't have to have a special session.
Right.
But I would never call them in for a special session until there was an agreement as to what that budget would look like, so that it would only take 2 or 3 days to then put the budget together, and out we go. But never for them to sit around for 2 or 3 weeks and doing nothing, knowing only a handful of legislators work on the budget.
Why do you think that, they've been in session for 60 days. Why do you think next to the last day, you're getting the final budget for New Mexico? It seems like they put off their homework until the very last minute.
It's very, very disturbing when you do have a 60-day session and the real work doesn't get started till around week 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. And so everything gets bottlenecked, everything slows down, it's not moving fast enough. It's just unfortunate that they don't start to work at least 8 hours a day starting day one. When they're on the floor, they have people, they have mariachis come and sing, they introduce 20 to 30 individuals, right. They have people, just on and on and on without addressing bills. And I just find it so frustrating when here we are day 2 or 3 before the end of the session, and everyone's screaming, to get things done.
Right. Well, again, we don't have much time, so let's move on. Another thing that people are interested about is there's really no tax cut deal with you and the legislatures this year so far. I know you were hoping for something. Our Senator John Arthur Smith said yesterday that talks are continuing with your administration about proposals to reduce taxes to encourage economic development in the state. Have you seen any movement since yesterday on this between you and the legislature?
Absolutely. We are still working together. I was in the office last night till about 11 o'clock at night. We're still working with the legislature to provide incentives for businesses to come to New Mexico, for manufacturing to come to New Mexico, but we have to be competitive with our surrounding states. Mm-hmm. Arizona has a 4.9 business tax. We have a 7.6 business tax.
Right.
We have to have what's called a single-weighted sales, which means we only tax the products that are sold here, not what we're exporting. Again, to be competitive with our surrounding states. And so where we fall, we're negotiating still. We're still hopeful. There's still plenty of time for this to get done. But John Arthur has been an absolute jewel to work with. He is someone that I think we can really pull this together at the end for New Mexicans, because that's all that matters is what New Mexicans want.
Right. Another thing, you did sign a bill into law, a measure into law, about the pay equity protection. And this sort of surprised me that New Mexico hasn't had this yet. We seem to be more of a progressive state than some states, but it seems like there were pay discrimination based on gender was allowed up until recently, or?
Well, it wasn't that it was allowed. You would have to sue in federal court.
All right.
And to be able to sue in federal court can become quite onerous for a lot of people because we have such a rural state. And so you'd have to, let's say you were in Raton, you may be moved to Albuquerque federal court or down to Las Cruces federal court, and it becomes difficult. This allows you to have a cause of action. If you're getting paid 60 cents on the dollar and the male counterpart is getting paid $1 for the same job, you can go right there in Raton to your own district court and be able to have a cause of action.
All right. So it takes it. Now, you can still take it to federal court, but it's also now something you can do in state court. That makes it. That's logical.
That's exactly right.
All right, Governor. One of the questions we got from our Facebook page is from Scott. He said, "John, please ask the governor why she is against signing a gaming compact for the Aquila Casino. Gaming paid over $70 million to the state in 2011 through revenue sharing, and gaming not only mentioned the jobs that it would bring to the area. Gaming New Mexico has generated more than $1 billion in 2011. Why should Luna County be excluded from the opportunity to join other counties in the state with Indian gaming?" And your answer is?
My answer is that this agreement, in order to hold the land in trust, came during the Johnson administration. Before Governor Johnson agreed, the Native Americans agreed that they would never have gaming on that land. So it goes way back to that time, and I was told by the Department of Interior that that's exactly right, that they agreed to hold it in trust, and now it's been recognized as a reservation, but that the requirement was that they would never have gaming on that land. And so this was an agreement made by the Native Americans. And so that's what they're holding them to, is that there would never be gaming there. So it's not a decision I am making. It is one I'm honoring from the Department of Interior, and it was made by the Native Americans.
All right. Well, this is, just as a regular citizen, I know myself, we get the tribe and other people say, well, the governor's wrong on this. We talked to this person and we talked to them and they're saying no, blah, blah, blah. Have you, and the tribal chairman also comes to the radio station here quite often and talks about the progress that's out there in Aquila. And he says that you so far have not met with him. Have you heard from him? Is there a reason that you haven't met with him yet, or?
No, I have not met with him, but I have not been asked to have a meeting with him.
Okay.
I did go to the Department of Interior in Washington, D.C., and did my own research in reference to this issue, and I was actually shown documents that show that there was an agreement made back when Governor Johnson was in office that said there would not be any gaming on that area. The Department of Interior is the very first level of approval for them to have gaming. And they're the ones that have shown me this documentation that says we won't approve because they have agreed not to have gaming if the land was held in trust.
Right. And Governor, I know, I'm sure you're taking heat from citizens in this area because I do believe that the Aquila thing is a major concern to a lot of people, and a lot of people here want it. I'm sure there's some people that don't for different reasons, but I think the majority of the people, from what I've heard and read, want this, and they have meetings down here, and it's very well attended. So I'm sure that what you were saying, that you've looked into this and you feel your stance is right. Maybe sometime somewhere someone can get together and work out some sort of maybe a compromise or an agreement or something to move this thing forward, or to just finally say no forever, whatever.
Absolutely. I am completely open to and making sure that we have community meetings explaining, because these were decisions made well before my administration.
Right.
But I am actually going to be in Washington, D.C. Coming up in the next few days after the session, and I can actually ask for copies of everything that they have. We have here as well in the gaming department a packet that includes all of that documentation, and maybe I could post it up on my website so people can look at it and understand better as to the history of what took place.
If that happens, please let us know, because I know Luna County officials, the city officials, even Las Cruces officials, Diane officials, everyone's for this, except it seems to be you.
Oh, gosh, no. The Department of Interior actually has the say-so.
Right, and I understand that. All right.
I have the last say-so, but the Department of Interior has the first.
Well, and you are right. You're not the first governor to have problems. I remember Governor Richardson actually had a little blockade over there at one time.
That's right. And he was citing the same reasons.
All righty. And then we just got a phone call from a listener, Carlos Lovato. He says he did not mind if I used his name. He's a local business owner. Says he's a naturalized U.S. citizen, proud to be an American. He says, but he came here with his parents. They illegally immigrated to the U.S. When he was a child. He says he's a professional. He went to school. He's worked hard. He's got a clean record, and he doesn't understand your views about driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. And I said, you're probably going to say the same thing you said time after time after time. But why is it that you did you want the legislature to do away with driver's license for illegal immigrants?
The reason that I'm fighting for the repeal of the law that gives driver's licenses to illegal immigrants is because New Mexicans want me to do that. 72% of New Mexicans have found that we have become a magnet for illegal activity. People are coming to New Mexico with the clear intent of paying anywhere from $500 to $5,000 to pay for false documents. Documents claiming they live here, claiming that they have utilities here, claiming that they have bank accounts here. They go into a motor vehicle department. They may not even be using their real name. They get a driver's license, and then they leave our state when that driver's license was actually meant for residents of New Mexico that were here illegally. So we have people coming from China, Poland, we have them coming from Brazil, we have them coming from Middle East and Mexico, getting a driver's license, then leaving our state. And what's happening is we've become this magnet, and there were 14 other states that used to give driver's licenses to illegals. However, they have now repealed those laws because of the problems that it caused. Only 2 states in the United States give driver's licenses to illegal immigrants. However, I have actually compromised with the other side of the aisle and said we're willing to give driver's licenses to those that have deferred deportation via the executive order of the president, which means anyone who's 30 years of age and younger who came here as a child and didn't have a say-so in whether or not they came here illegally, and they can get a driver's license. So I have actually compromised with the Democrats. However, they're not accepting my compromise. And we want to make sure foreign nationals that are here, that are working here, going to our universities with visas, etc., all of them to get a driver's license.
Right.
We want nothing more than people to come from other places of the world, as long as we're sure they're not committing criminal acts here, in order to stay here. And we want them to go to our universities, stay and work here. But New Mexicans at 72% want me to repeal this law, and I was elected to do the people's work.
All right. Well, Governor, I thank you for your time. I know we've gone over, so I know you've got other radio stations stacked up to talk to you, and I appreciate you including us in your radio day today. We appreciate you very, very much because, you're sort of one of us down here in southern New Mexico, coming from Diana County. And as I told you before we went on the air, I think you got good popularity support. Of course, you can't ever please everybody, but I think for the most part, you're very popular in our area of southwest New Mexico, and just appreciate everything you do for us and the state. So I'll let you go. You have yourself a great day, and anytime that you're in the area or anything, let us know, all right?
I will, and I just wanted to compliment Senator Smith and Representative Donna Irwin. They're doing a wonderful job, and they're great people to work with.
All righty. Susana Martinez, our governor from New Mexico, thank you very much for your time today. You have a blessed day. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you later, all right?
Thank you so much.
All right,
God bless you too. Bye-bye.